Oh, hello. Would you like to share a beverage? You would? Hey, look, it's Dr. Pepper. You like Dr. Pepper? Yeah. I know, it's pretty good, isn't it? Well, come here. Come on. Get in your spot. Or lick yourself, whatever. Hello everyone, welcome back to another LEGO Lover 117 video. It is finally time that I answer all of your questions that I asked for 2-3 months ago. It's been a little bit of a long time. And we have a good friend of the channel here with us. This is Cookie. Say hi, Cookie Monster. The one time I want her to speak and she says nothing. I'm currently house sitting for a family friend, and Cookie came part of that deal. We have been best friends over the last week, and she wanted to be a part of the video. So she's going to be here while I answer all of your questions from back in like July. And since it's a special occasion, I decided to pour myself a nice, crisp, cold Dr. Pepper and drink it out of a Dr. Pepper glass that this family friend presumably stole from a restaurant. Ah, refreshing. Okay, so I just pulled up the video where I asked for your questions. It has been 3 months, so I apologize for that. And Cookie Monster, you can answer some questions too if you feel like it. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it here. So our first questions come from Dan, good friend of the channel, Dan. He says, number one, when will we see what I was doing while I was dead return? Well, Dan, when you asked this question, the first part of what I was doing while I was dead 6, I believe, wasn't out yet, but it has come out over the last 3 months. Part 2, I believe, is finished and should be uploaded within the next few weeks or so. I know Collection Month is coming up next in the next round of videos here in the next month or so, so that'll probably be November before you see the end of that series. Possible Wooden Railway Collection video this year. I don't count on it, Dan, or anybody else. I just haven't purchased a lot of Wooden Railway stuff. And the way I like to do my collections is, one, I love to do the Thomas & Friends one every year because it gets the most views, but also you guys really enjoy seeing that collection every year. And I like to do stuff, and I like to do collections that have grown. Case in point, why I haven't done a complete CD collection since like 2022, because that collection really hasn't grown. I haven't bought anything new. I kind of slowed down on that. My video game collection, my Blu-ray collection, those grow every year, so you see new stuff there. Also, some stuff leaves it every now and then. I probably won't do a VHS tape collection either. I want to do something that I've never done previously. There's going to be one new collection video for Collection Month, and I think you guys are really going to dig it. I really would like an updated room tour because I know you have some new additions and shelves of the sort. Plus, I like seeing your desk, your VCR setups, etc. I know this is an oddball question. Not really an oddball question, Dan. There's been a couple of people that have asked me over the last few months, hey, will you do an updated room tour? My room is in a state of disrepair right now. It is a complete mess. So I probably won't show you that until 2025 because that is how long it's going to take to get it under control. But just know that at some point in time, you will get an updated room tour, probably before I move out of my parents' house in the next year. Will we see some UK HMRs? I know the schedule is booked as is, but I would still love to see them. Unfortunately not, Dan. There are no new episodes of Thomas & Friends Home Media Reviews proper on my schedule right now. Supplementals, though, there's a few more still left for this year. Have you ever considered playing GTA San Andreas? I personally think it's the best GTA game. Are you going to get GTA 6 when it releases? I know you have GTA 5. I have played San Andreas. I own it on my Xbox 360. I got to the point where you're in like the gang war in like the park area, and I couldn't get past it, so I quit. GTA 6 I'm interested in. I don't have a next generation console though. I'm still on Xbox One, PS4, so I doubt that I'll be picking that up when it first comes out. I haven't even played Jedi Survivor yet. And I really want to play RoboCop Rogue City too, but those are all next-gen games, and I don't have the money to buy a next-gen console right now. Hell, I don't even have the cash to upgrade my laptop yet. That's why all my streams over the past year have been in 720p, because this HP laptop I'm running on just can't handle 1080p, which sucks. Dan ends off his comment with, I really enjoy the channel over the past 8 years or so I've been here. Keep up the good work. If I ever get any more extra UK DVDs, I know who to hit up. Well, I very much appreciate your compliments there, Dan. And yes, you know exactly who to hit up because you personally have supplied content for, I think, 2 seasons worth of Thomas & Friends HMRs here moving forward. Our next group of questions come from a channel called Birdhouse Films, at least that's his @ but he says his name is Caleb Robbins. So hello, Caleb Robbins. His first question is, have you seen Snow White and the Huntsman and Sleepy Hollow? If so, what did you think of them? I've seen Snow White and the Huntsman. It's been years though. I thought it was fine. Haven't seen Sleepy Hollow though. Doesn't that have Johnny Depp in it? That sounds right. Where is the closest day out with Thomas in your area? I think the closest day out with Thomas to me is at the Kentucky Railroad Museum. I believe they still do that every year. That's the one that I went to when I was a kid, and it was a lot of fun up there. I haven't been to the Railroad Museum in probably 10 years. It's been a long time. There's an old vlog of it up on my channel right now, the last time me and my family went. If you were stuck with one Railway Series book for the rest of your life, which one would it be? I'm guessing he means if I could only read one Railway Series book for the rest of my life and not like, you're stuck on a desert island, but only with this one Railway Series book. I mean, I think the most obvious choice here is the 3 Railway engines, because that's the first one. That's the one everybody would pick. My pick, though, would probably be Oliver the Western engine. I really enjoyed that one. I haven't read a lot of the Railway series. That's one of the ones that I've read fully through, and I really enjoyed it. So I think I would go with that one. Have you ever played the Thomas & Friends plug-and-play game Right on Time? I did not know there was a Thomas plug-and-play game. I may need to track that down. I've done Let's Plays on all of the Thomas PC games, at least all the mainline ones that came out here in the US, as well as one from the UK, but I haven't played a Thomas & Friends plug-and-play game. I do have plans, though, to do plug-and-play Let's Plays at some point. I have a couple of those. I have a couple SpongeBob ones and an Avatar one. Who is your favorite Thomas character minus Oliver? Well, Oliver's my favorite. Who else am I supposed to say? I am kind of partial to Gordon, too. Gordon always reminded me of my dad when I was a kid. Very stern, but could also be funny. So, if not Oliver, then probably Gordon. I know the Great Festival Adventure was your favorite Thomas PC game, but what would you say was your favorite Thomas book reading as a kid? I know this one off the top of my head. Thomas and the Really Big Bridge. I think that's what it's called. It's either that or Thomas and the Big Bridge. I'll throw a picture of it here for you guys to see. I think I did a skit reading this at the beginning of a video at some point. I loved this book growing up as a kid. It's very simplistic, but I really enjoyed it. Have you ever watched Futurama? Yes, I'm a huge Futurama fan. I own, I think, the entire original series. I haven't seen the Hulu series yet, the newer seasons that have been coming out on Hulu over the last few years. I'm horrendously behind, though. I'm on like season 4 of the show, but I'm really liking it. Are you a South Park fan? Yeah, off and on. I like it for the most part. Hope thinks it's horrendously annoying. We tried watching the South Park movie a few years ago, and she yelled at me to turn it off because it was annoying her. But I like South Park. I think that they're very on the nose with some of their episodes, especially the episode where they parodied Harry and Meghan, which was hilarious. Have you ever read the original Snow White fairy tale by the Brothers Grimm and The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Washington Irving? Haven't read either of those. I seem to remember when I was in elementary school, we would go to the library once a week for what they called special area. We would be in there for like an hour just doing random stuff, and I feel like my librarian like read us a chapter from Sleepy Hollow. That's the one with the headless horseman, right? I feel like she read that to us around like Halloween or something. I can't remember what grade I was in, but I think I've read part of it. What do you have to say about Justin Timberlake being arrested? This was topical back when this question was asked. Don't be stupid. That's really the only commentary I've got. Of the best of releases, which one is your favorite? Thomas, Percy, James, or Gordon? I'm partial to Best of James because I'm the most nostalgic for that. That one I would watch every time I go over to my grandma's house and play on their Brio train table. So I'd say Best of James just because of nostalgic reasons. We have another group of questions from Archie Bug. We have another group of questions here from a person named JZS Studios. His first question says, remember Connor, you know, the guy who made those horrible Roblox Thomas remakes? Well, he has made up for all the drama he caused. I do remember Connor. He was part of our friend group for a while there until he went insane. And we made videos on him because we didn't like him at the time. I mean, good for him for making up for his past transgressions. I haven't spoken to him since those videos went live. In your Let's Play on Building the New Line, you said, "We don't like you, Edward. Was that a joke?" Yeah. It said in an obviously sarcastic tone. Yeah, Edward's fine. In your review on Wooden Railway Harvey, you said he was a pointless character. Do you still think he's pointless? Also, you said the 27 didn't make sense. Well, it's there because he was the 27th character. If that's true, then that is cool. I like that Easter egg there. Harvey's not a pointless character. I probably just said that to be edgy at the time, quote unquote, edgy for a Thomas fan. Our next group of questions come from us from Chris Channel, a guy who has been around this channel for a very long time. I recognize him. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Okay, I just barely made the July 1st deadline. I had to check through last year's questions to make sure I didn't ask the same twice. Well, I do appreciate that, Chris. Have you seen any musicals, plays, or ballets live on stage? Oh my gosh, I had to see The Nutcracker when I was in like elementary school. That thing is so boring. I know people are like, oh, it's artsy and it's a play and all this good stuff. It sucks. I don't like it. It's boring. I saw Dracula at the Louisville Actors Theater when I was in middle school. They did a really good production of that. I've seen A Christmas Story live several times. It's one at Actors Theater and one at Derby Dinner Playhouse up in Indiana. That was really good. Every year after Thanksgiving, my family goes to Derby Dinner to watch a Christmas-themed play, so I can't even name all the plays that we've seen. We saw White Christmas like 4 times in a row. We've seen Elf there. That was fun. Oh, Cookie is gone now. She has gotten bored by my questions. Have you ever seen Nickelodeon's Peter Rabbit or The World of Peter Rabbit and Friends? Those are my favorite shows of all time. I've never seen anything Peter Rabbit related. I know that probably comes as a shock to all of you, but I've never seen anything Peter Rabbit related. Hope Loves the Movie, starring like Domhnall Gleeson from like 2018, 2017, that time period. But other than that, I have no experience with Peter Rabbit. Did you hear about Checkered Past, Toonami Rewind, and or MeTV Tunes? I have heard of Toonami Rewind. I don't know what it is, though. I don't know what those other things are either, so I guess no, I haven't heard of them. What's your favorite of the 9 generations of video game consoles, my favorite are the 6th and 7th. The 7th was what got me into gaming, so yeah, I'd say the 7th probably. That was when the Xbox 360, the PS3, and the Wii came out. I had a Wii first and then an Xbox 360. The 7th generation just had so much variety in terms of the games and the consoles and everything. PlayStation 3 had Blu-ray support. Xbox had like Halo and Gears of War. The Wii had motion controls. Like you got so much variety out of the 7th generation of consoles. And then moving forward, it was just kind of like, yeah, here's an updated Xbox. Here's an updated PlayStation. Here's an updated Wii. What's your favorite 1980s cartoon? 1980s cartoon. The Simpsons premiered in 1989, right? I guess I'd have to say The Simpsons. I guess close up would be like Ninja Turtles, maybe. I never watched the original Ninja Turtles that much, though. I'm much more of a 2003 Ninja Turtles fan, thrown in with the 2012 series as well there. But I guess I'll say The Simpsons by default. What's your favorite 1990s cartoon? The Spider-Man show from the 90s was really cool. The one that comes to mind, though, would be Recess. I really enjoyed Recess. That came out in the 90s, but I saw it in the 2000s when it was running on Disney Channel. Really enjoyed that show. That was fun. What's your least favorite 1990s cartoon? A lot of cartoon questions here, Chris. I don't really have a least favorite 90s cartoon. I mean, I don't really have a least favorite cartoon in general. I appreciate all cartoons for just the fact that they even get made. Kind of hard to answer that one, but I appreciate the question. What's your favorite Olympic sport to watch? Mine is gymnastics. I don't care about the Olympics, so I don't have an answer for you. Okay, he asked me a bunch of stuff about movies that I have seen, so I'm just going to answer them as we move along here. Have you ever seen White Christmas? Not the movie, I've seen the play though. Newsies? No. Tiny Toon Adventures, How I Spent My Vacation? No. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Yes, and it's really good. It's a Wonderful Life. Years ago on TV, I don't remember a lot about it. Hot Wheels World Race? No. Or Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget? No, haven't seen the first Chicken Run either. Do you watch any physical media unboxing YouTubers like Jay's Blu-rays or anybody like that? Not really. I don't watch a lot of unboxing people here on YouTube. I watch a lot of tech YouTubers. My go-tos are like Austin Evans. I've been watching him a lot while I've been here in this house. Matt KC. He doesn't post a lot, but the videos that he does post are really good. I watch Scott the Woz a lot whenever he uploads. He's kind of slowed down in his upload frequencies, but I watch him. I watch a lot of gaming YouTubers, movie YouTubers, Jeremy Johns, John Flickinger whenever he decides to upload. And of course I watch all my buddies in the Thomas fandom. Do you intend on watching the only unreleased on DVD Kipper episode Surprise Party after the HMR series is over? It's on the official Fisher-Price YouTube channel in a 16:9 squished to 4:3 ratio. Yeah, that means seasons 4 to 6 were produced in widescreen and Surprise Party was the only widescreen episode to surface. I have not seen Surprise Party. I did not know that there was a Kipper episode that wasn't released here on physical media. That's kind of cool, though, that it's up on the official Fisher-Price YouTube channel. I'm glad that they're actually keeping Kipper out there for newer fans and younger people to check out. Do you intend on eventually playing the PSP version of Cars? The PSP version of Cars is essentially the PlayStation 2 version because the PSP is essentially a portable PlayStation 2. I don't have a PSP, so I guess not. I don't really plan on picking one up soon. I think if you played the PS2 version of anything, you've played the PSP version of. We have one question from Savage Gamer 1998. What is your favorite game console you own? That would be my Switch. Not only because I play it the most, I just think it's the most innovative console that has come about in the last few years. The 7th generation had a lot of innovation, like PS3 adding Blu-ray support and finally getting that out to a more broad audience. But as far as everything else afterward, it was just kind of an updated version of everything else. And then here comes Nintendo with a concept that sounded insane to me when I first heard about it. A game console that you can play both on the television and portably, and it looks just as good portably as it does on the TV. That doesn't sound right. Now, do games like Fortnite look worse on the Switch compared to like PS4 or PS5? Absolutely. Do I care? No. I care that I can take this little black rectangle and play Fortnite on it. I don't have to play it on the television. I can play it portably. That's crazy to me. As a kid who grew up with the Nintendo DS and always wanting something that could play 3D platformers like SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom or something like that and not be stuck with 2D side-scrollers of these same games, the Switch is amazing. We have a comment from Katie the Yankees fan. She says, what got you to start your YouTube channel? I had always been interested in video production since I was a little kid. I loved media and like watching stuff and like that, and I wanted to see like maybe I could make my own thing. Watching like Lego people doing reviews of Lego sets in like 2012 and such, I thought, hey, maybe I could do that. And then I rediscovered Kikray24 or Thomas Wooden Railway's channel in like 2011, 2012. I had watched him previously back when he first started in like 2010, 2009, around that time period. And I'd liked him then, and I rediscovered him later and was like, dude, I can do this too. So I finally took the plunge and made my YouTube channel after that. And after a lot of experimentation and a lot of content rebranding, I feel like I'm in a good place right now. We have another question here from Eman. Interesting name. He says, why do you hate the Mad Max franchise? I don't hate Mad Max. I've never gotten into any of the movies. I've seen all of them, including Furiosa. I own Mad Max 1 through 4. I just can't get into them for some reason. I don't know what it is. The first movie is not good. People praise that movie because, yeah, George Miller made it on a budget of like $600,000. It's not interesting, though. I didn't like it that much. It's great that it got made and that it spawned a very successful franchise, but it's not good. Road Warrior, I liked a little bit more than that. Mad Max 3, I just didn't like that at all. The best one is Fury Road by far. I can at least appreciate Fury Road for how that movie was made and how good it looks. I just can't get into the story. And the same deal with Furiosa. I can appreciate how good the movie looks. The story is just not interesting to me. Moving on to EpiDog229. This person asks, favorite animated movie? Cars, hands down. Favorite video game? Cars, hands down. First movie you ever watched? You guys are going to laugh at me, but my earliest theater memory is seeing Cars in theater. So we've got the Cars trilogy going here. But according to my parents, the first movie that I was ever taken to when I was a kid was Spirit. I don't remember what the subtitle is, but I watched that movie a lot on VHS in the years after seeing it in theaters. But apparently, that was the first movie I ever saw. His last question, kind of unrelated, but what is your opinion on The Outsiders from 1983? I don't have an opinion on that movie because I've never seen it. Friend of the channel, Austin Anthony, comes in with a couple of questions. He says, favorite and least favorite Thomas DVDs in your UK lineup? I would say probably my least favorite would be the Steam Team collection, just because it's a repackage of 3 DVDs that are really mediocre and not good, except for Creaky Cranky, which we all know is like S tier. My favorite one might be Seasonal Scrapes. I really liked that one. That one was a lot of fun. Who are your favorite YouTubers? Well, I've kind of already mentioned a couple YouTubers that I watch. But they would be classified as my favorites. Austin Evans, Matt Casey, John Flickinger. Hey, Cookie. You're not a YouTuber. She says, I'm your favorite YouTuber, right? Yeah? Am I your favorite YouTuber? I'll take your silence as yes. Oh, you said yes. I'm subscribed to a lot of channels, so I'll just read off a couple more that I haven't mentioned yet. I mentioned Austin Evans, Matt Casey, John Flickinger, Jeremy Johns. Actual Justice Warrior, he's a political channel that I watch. Ooh, Garrett watches political content. Let's all burn him at the stake. Analog Toys, Retro Blasting. Those are both toy-based channels. We have another tech channel, Computer Clan, with Crazy Ken of Crazy Ken's Tech Talk, where he busts a bunch of scam tech. That's a fun channel. Another political channel here, but Don't Walk, Run Productions. Another really fun political commentary channel there. I mentioned this next channel in my Emperor's New Groove HMR, but it's called It Was a Shit Show. It talks about, it's a channel where they produce content on like movies with horrendous productions, and like it's a miracle that these movies even got made. There's actually a two-parter on Futurama, so moving back into a previous question. I watch some physical media channels like Jeff Rossio, Mid-Level Media. Ken and his wife from that channel actually live in the same town that I live in. And I think the last channel that I'll mention here that aren't my friends, it's another tech channel called Salem Techsperts. It's these two guys named Andy and Lupe, and they run a little tech shop in Salem, Massachusetts, I believe it is. They make videos about computers and stuff that have come into their shop, and a whole bunch of funny jokes along the way. Usually Andy gets killed and turns into a skeleton. So that's a fun channel. And I watch all my friends when they upload. James, Roman, Lemmy, Ronnie, Henry, Parker, Will, Miles, everybody, Ted, everybody that I'm friends with here in the fandom. I try to watch their content whenever they upload. And then Austin hits me with another silly question. He says, what are your thoughts on Apom Tinky Winky? Ha ha, hilarious. It's a funny inside joke from Austin's friend group and also from the streams. We have a group of questions from Thomas YouTuber Fan 202. He says, is there one Thomas episode or multiple Thomas episodes that scared you as a kid? Stepney Gets Lost freaked me out when I was younger, and that's part of the reason why it's my favorite episode of the show today. That episode scared the bejesus out of me. When is the Entertainment 2024 vlog coming out? I don't know where you got that information. I didn't go to the Entertainment 2024 big meetup thing this year. There was one that happened. It was a few months ago. I wasn't able to make it, unfortunately, so there's no vlog for that. Just wondering, why is Oliver your favorite character? Honestly, it's kind of hard for me to nail down why he is my favorite character. I think it's just because of how he was able to overcome his adverse situation, not just waiting for somebody to come and save him. He actually picked himself up by his metaphorical bootstraps and drug himself out of his scenario, and it was only when he actually couldn't do anything else and needed somebody to help him, he was able to persevere that way. And now he was able to move past that tragedy in his life. That's really inspiring to me. He appeals to my ego here at the very end. How are you such a great YouTuber? I mean, I don't know, man. It certainly isn't in the personality. But I'll answer your question somewhat seriously. I think anybody has the tools. I think anybody has the talent out there to be a great YouTuber. You just have to find a topic that you're interested in and work really hard at it. I mean, for me, I've been here 12 years. It took a while for me to finally realize, hey, Thomas Home Media, that's my thing. I made a wooden railway series for years prior to starting HMR. It never really took off that much, but I made it and I was proud of it at that time. I made Roblox videos, and I'm currently and the process of re-uploading those with some of the more objectionable things taken out of them. Like, I made Skype call videos. I made gaming content. I make unboxings. I mean, you just have to find a niche topic that you're interested in, and if you have to experiment, then experiment. Like I said, I've made all kinds of content here, and I stick with what works. And if you have access to some pretty good computer hardware and a fairly good microphone and camera, you can make a video on anything. I mean, just look at me. I'm using a Elgato Wave Neo right now that I got on clearance at Target for 26 bucks. Oh yeah, it's gum robber time. Will you and Hope, or at least you, do a reaction video of the crossover video I did for your 10th anniversary? We'll see, gum robber. Have you ever thought about doing remastered versions of some of your earlier HMRs, Thomas Regular, etc.? Not really. I feel differently about like remastering stuff from my Wooden Railway series as opposed to something like an episode of Thomas and Friends Home Media Reviews, because the information will be the exact same. The camera quality may be upgraded, but the information that I'm giving to you will be the exact same for the most part. The mic quality may be a little bit better too, but like, I don't really see the point in going back and remastering those as opposed to me telling a story more clearly and with better audio and better voice acting and all that stuff. There's more stuff to improve on in a remastered episode of my Thomas Wooden Railway series as opposed to something like an HMR. You want me to stop talking so we can take a nap? She's getting sleepy, I can tell. Girlie, you were asleep when I left this morning to go to church. You were still asleep. What are some of the rarest VHS tapes, DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks that you own? So to answer this question, I had to magically teleport home and gather up some of my various items because at the time of filming the answers video, I couldn't remember what I owned. So my rarest VHS is definitely this guy, Curse of the Blair Witch, from Sci-Fi. I guess this is the sequel to the Blair Witch Project, but I cannot find any information on this anywhere online. A reverse Google image search, it pulls up copies of the sequel, but doesn't look anything like this. I think this might be a screener VHS. I don't know. It came from my aunt's condo. I don't know how she would have gotten her hands on it, but Curse of the Blair Witch, because I don't know anything about it. For DVDs, I have two of them here. We have the Clone Wars DVD Steelbook, which we haven't covered on Home Media Reviews yet, because I have so much stuff gathering up for supplementals. I mean, I'm set for a little while, so this will probably be the first time and the last time you see this on the channel in the next couple of months, so soak it in now. I found this at a flea market for, you can see the price, $2 there. I don't see this pop up on eBay very much. It's in great shape, and it's a DVD steelbook, so you don't really see those nowadays. And then for the second one, another supplemental that I have yet to do for Home Media Reviews, this came from a loyal viewer of my channel. His name is Reki. He sometimes sends me care packages, and in this particular package, he sent me Cars on DVD in Spanish. You can see the Spanish all over here. The entire back is in Spanish. Bonus features are in Spanish. And the best part, too, is it's sealed. So this is definitely one of the rarest DVDs that I own because I don't think you could get this in the States. You may have been able to get it in, like, for Blu-ray, how could I not pick this guy? The Avengers, Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 1 Blu-ray box set. I found this thing for super cheap at Half Price Books. It's got every piece of paper that came in the box. Every Blu-ray is in pristine shape. The lights and everything in it still work. Try to open this with one hand. It probably will not be successful. Oh, there we go. The lights and everything still work in it. I mean, every piece of paper that came inside of it is still there. And for 20 bucks, I mean, this thing is amazing. I love it. It's my pride and joy. And then for 4K, I couldn't think of anything particularly rare that I owned on 4K, so I grabbed this, Night School. I don't see comedies on 4K that much, and whenever a comedy does hit 4K, they usually don't stick around long. I think of something like the Daddy's Home films. Those both got 4Ks and were like instantly wiped off the face of the earth, it seemed like. I found Night School years ago on Walmart.com. I didn't see it in theaters, and I was like, hey, cool, 4K, I'm gonna grab it. And I just think it's funny that this movie, of all the movies to ever exist, has a 4K release. So that's the answer to that question. My boy Mike from Mike's Reviews and Analysis has two questions. He says, do you have a least favorite movie franchise? Probably, I hate to say it, but probably Mad Max. It's the one that I just don't like. I I tried. I tried to get into it. I don't like it. Maybe next to that would be like Transformers or something. And then he asked, when are you coming back on my channel? Whenever you invite me. Moving on to Suffolk Rules, established 2001. You guys have some interesting usernames. He asked, do you like The Wiggles? I liked them when I was a kid. They were never really my favorite. Thoughts on Mr. Bean? I never really watched Mr. Bean as a kid either. That was Rowan Atkinson, right, who played... I never watched anything Mr. Bean related. I know people love that character and love what Rowan Atkinson brought to that role, but the most I've seen of him is stuff from like YouTube poops. Do you wish the DVD versions of Thomas and Friends Help Out and Best of Gordon had songs? You know, I'm glad that you mentioned that because I wake up every morning, I look at myself in my mirror and say, I wish that the DVD versions of Thomas and His Friends Get Along and Best of Gordon had songs. I'm indifferent either way, man. It's not something that takes up space in my mind. Our next group of questions come from Jamie Raimundo. She asks, are you going to do a Thomas and Friends home media reviews on the Fogmen and other stories? Yeah, that may be the UK version of Salty Secret, but I think I've established in the past that I don't really care if it's a UK version of something else. I will do an HMR on it if it's its own separate release. Do you watch any Studio Ghibli movies? HMR on My Neighbor Totoro. If it's not already out yet, it'll be coming soon by the time you guys see this video. I've seen The Boy and the Heron. I watched that in theaters with Hope. But other than that, those are the only two Studio Ghibli movies I've seen. Do you watch some Japanese anime shows? Nope. I don't like anime. What is your favorite movie directed by Steven Spielberg? I mean, everybody says Jaws. I have to say Jaws on that one. Jurassic Park a close second, though. Moving along to Michael Nix Spain, who asks, did you ever watch any shows on Nick Jr. and Noggin growing up? I did watch Nick Jr. when I was in preschool. The show that I remember watching on there primarily was Oswald. It was this show with like a cartoon octopus, I think is what it was. I liked that show a lot, so that's the one I remember the most. I don't remember Noggin, though. I don't think we ever got that in my house. Playhouse Disney, though, was the channel that I watched a lot. Do you guys remember the Koala Brothers? That was the shit, man. Koala Brothers, man. Does anybody else remember that? Stanley? Come on. His next question is, did you know that Stepney Gets Lost is episode number 117 of Thomas? Is that why you call yourself Lego Lover 117? No, that is purely coincidence. I did not know that, though. Thank you for telling me that. That's really cool. The name Lego Lover 117 was literally just a random combo of numbers in my head. I was like, what looks good next to Lego Lover? Because I couldn't just call myself Lego Lover. No, you needed a number in your name as well. So I was like, how about 117? That looks fine. Some people have asked me, though, does this have to do with Halo? Because apparently 117 is a big thing in Halo. It has nothing to do with Halo. I've never played Halo, so I don't know what the 117 is referencing. Will you make a Bob the Builder home media review series in the future? I'd love to see that. A lot of people have asked me for that. Now that I've done Kipper and Thomas and regular HMR, now people want to see Bob the Builder. I own quite a bit of Bob on physical media, but I don't know if I want to commit necessarily to buying everything for that show, because if I do that, I have to cover everything. Like, everything Bob the Builder. And it was a pretty long-running program, so I don't know. Connect Fan 2023 asks, besides the UK Thomas and Friends Complete Series sets, do you think about getting more UK Thomas releases? Probably in the future, yeah. If I see him on eBay for a good price, or if Dan hits me up and says, hey, I've got a lot of extras, do you want them? I'd be like, yeah, absolutely. Have you ever played or heard of the Kinect Adventures game from the Xbox 360? Yeah, I own it. It came with the Kinect. It came bundled in. So yeah, I have heard and have played Kinect Adventures. That thing's worth like, at most, 75 cents. Hudson Damon Guy 12, another interesting username, asks, favorite hit era Thomas episode written by Paul Larson? Very specific question. Let me look up Thomas episodes written by Paul Larson. Oh, he wrote Thomas to the Rescue? I actually really like that episode. I'm going to go with that one. You know what? Technically, that's the hit era, right? That's season 8. That's hit era. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that one. Thomas to the Rescue. I don't even need to read the rest of the episodes. What are your thoughts on the canceled Adventures of Thomas movie? It would have been a very interesting experiment, but I don't think it would have made the splash, for lack of a better term, that Hit would have wanted it to. Thomas just isn't a brand that is recognizable outside of children. I mean, putting Thomas in theaters, just from a financial sense, it doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense in 2000 with Thomas and the Magic Railroad, even though, yes, he was on top of the world then, and it felt like Thomas could never fall. That franchise just doesn't suit theaters. Why do you think Kipper never got a theatrical release? Bob, the Builder, never had a theatrical release. They were all direct-to-video stuff. Thomas as a franchise just isn't something that can exist in theaters. And I still think that even with this new Mark Forster movie that supposedly is coming out. It probably has been quietly canceled and we just don't know about it yet. They probably pulled a Lucasfilm and hired another director and then fired him too. So I don't think Thomas is a franchise that can last in theaters. What's your least favorite Thomas HMR that you did? Anything from like the CGI era from like seasons 13 to 16, that was rough. That was rough, man. I haven't watched any of those releases since I did the HMRs on those. Some of those episodes I just struggled to find things to say about them because I was like, it's the same stuff over and over again, and I don't like it. J Game Guy, dear friend of the channel, says, how would you rank the LEGO Star Wars games on consoles from worst to best? Oh, dude. Obviously, Complete Saga is the best one. I love Complete Saga. It's awesome. I really liked Skywalker Saga. I don't know why people shit on that game so much. I really enjoyed Skywalker Saga. It's too big, though. Games these days are too big. Like, I get it. Open worlds, that's a cool thing. Do we have to have 50 million side quests in order to 100% complete a game? I don't think we need that. I haven't 100% completed Skywalker Saga. I have like 45 hours put into it so far. But I really enjoyed it for what it was. I think it's a worthy successor to the Complete Saga. Lego Star Wars, the video game, I did a Let's Play series on it. It is, some of those levels are horrendously difficult, and I don't know why. Maybe gamers today are just too soft and they couldn't handle, you can't handle the truth, or something like that. I do like Lego Star Wars 2, though. That's fun. Not on the DS, though. That DS port of that game is hot garbage. So does that answer your question? What? Why are you looking at me like that, huh? Yeah, take your bath on the camera. Have you played Shovel Knight yet? No. I bought it on the 3DS when the shop was closing down because I had some money still in my 3DS wallet. So I bought it then. I haven't played it though. I probably should. Are you considering leaving Twitter given its current state? No, I never once considered leaving Twitter. I have taken breaks from Twitter, like when I say something that is supposedly controversial, but the Thomas fandom thinks that I'm a horrible person for calling out abhorrent behavior, and then I have to like mute my app for a week so I don't explode. Jordan Films says, which movies are you looking forward to seeing this year, 2025 and 2026? 2025, Minecraft. Doesn't that look great? Minecraft movie, let's go! I am Steve. I don't know a lot about stuff that's coming in 2026, but Thunderbolts is coming next year, and before the trailer, I wouldn't have said I was excited for it, but the trailer for Thunderbolts actually doesn't look too bad. Captain America Brave New World looks pretty good too, so I'm excited for those next year. Another good friend of the channel, Harrison Allen, says, what are your anticipated movies of 2024? Well, 2024 is almost over. So, most anticipated, I haven't seen Beetlejuice 2 yet. I still need to see that. Speak No Evil looks pretty good with James McAvoy. What else is coming out this year? Moana 2, that's coming out this year. That'll be fun. Wicked, that looks fine. Venom 3, yippee, that looks okay. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, I know a lot of people are excited for that. Superman next year in 2025, James Gunn's official start to the new slate of DC movies. Let's hope this one's actually good. I say that. I like Man of Steel. I mean the universe is actually good and doesn't crash and burn like the last one did. Have you seen the video of the leaked draft from the canceled movie The Adventures of Thomas? I have not seen that video about the leaked draft of the script for that. I should probably check that out, though. Sounds interesting. Thoughts on the Nintendo Switch successor being on the horizon? I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Nintendo, can we get a better graphics processing chip inside of the Switch? I know I just sang the Switch praises earlier, but, I mean, can we get a better graphics chip? Come on. Come on, Nintendo. Give us something better than what we have. And perhaps, I don't know, more than like 30 gigabytes of internal storage? Can we get like, I don't know, 500 maybe? All right, we are rapidly approaching the end here. James Borland asks, what is your criteria when it comes to TV shows and movies? Mine are as follows: creativity, engagement, and commitment. Those are all pretty good criteria, James. I would say mine would be entertainment factor, if I am having fun while I'm watching something. Quality of performance, if I'm just bored out of my mind by an actor's performance, or like they're just not taking the material seriously. And overall, did I have a good time? That's really my big criteria is, did I have a good time while watching something? If I felt like, yeah, I went through a journey while watching this. Did I feel significantly thrilled after watching something like Taken? Or did I feel like I had a great time after seeing a comedy like The Emperor's New Groove or something? It's hard to be like, yes, these are my criteria for all movies, because all movies are different. I have different criteria based on what movie I'm watching. Any thoughts on CGI being overused? Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's taking films budgets and ballooning them to just absurd amounts. Indiana Jones 5 did not need to be a $300 million movie. That's insane. Any thoughts on the Super Mario Brothers live action film from 1993, as well as the history surrounding it? I know the history of the movie. I've heard the Now Playing podcast review of it, and that has a lot of history in it. I've never seen it all the way through though. I've seen clips of it, probably seen a good chunk of it, but never watched the whole movie all the way through. Maybe I should do that one day. Which is your preferred special effects, practical or CG? I prefer practical. I prefer practical for the most part, but if it's absolutely necessary to use CGI to make something look good, spend the extra money to make it look good. Yeah, isn't that right, Cookie? Say, don't cheap out on your visual effects. Spend the extra money to make it look good. See, what you guys don't know is Cookie is actually completely CGI. She is not here right now at all. She does not exist. I'm going insane. Ever seen the new Peanuts cartoons from Apple TV? No, I don't have Apple TV, so I haven't seen any of the new Peanuts cartoons. Favorite Jimmy Neutron character minus Hugh Neutron? Very good choice. I was always partial to Sheen because he was hilarious. Favorite Hanna-Barbera cartoon besides Scooby-Doo? That's obviously the one that everybody loves. I liked the Flintstones a lot. I enjoyed them quite a bit. Hope really likes the Jetsons. So those would probably be our favorites, besides Scooby-Doo, of course. Favorite 90s cartoon besides SpongeBob? I really like Rocko's Modern Life. I've only seen a few episodes from it, but from what I've seen, it's a fun show, and I enjoy it. Hey Arnold is really good, too. I've seen the pilot of that, and I really enjoyed that, too. Favorite artist can be any artist. I'm going to assume you mean, like, painting-wise. I don't really have one. I'm not an art critic. I'm the kind of person who thinks that if you put a piece of Scotch tape on top of a white canvas board, it'll sell for $3,000 because someone thinks it's a metaphor for, like, worldwide tyranny or something. I don't know. You can pick 3 movies to watch in a deserted island. Which are your picks? Ooh, the desert island question. I don't think I got this one last time. I would go with Avengers as number 1, Cars number 2, and if I'm on a deserted island, I'm going to have to laugh, so probably Talladega Nights. That's probably my favorite comedy. Favorite obscure animated movie, and then he lists a whole bunch of animation studios that I can't pick from. So I guess I don't really have a favorite quote unquote obscure animated movie because all the picks that I have in my mind are from these studios. Favorite movie from the Hollywood Renaissance from the mid-60s to the early 80s besides Star Wars and E.T. Damn it, why do you keep putting these restrictions on me? Because it's going to be Star Wars. I mean, come on. It's probably one of the most important movies ever made. No, screw you. I'm picking Star Wars. Any thoughts on Sonic 4? You mean the game? Like Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2? I've never played it. I don't know anything about it. Favorite Cartoon Network show besides regular show? I hate you. Why do you keep putting restrictions on me? Because regular show isn't my favorite Cartoon Network show. I wasn't a Cartoon Network kid growing up. I was a Nickelodeon kid. Probably something like Adventure Time, maybe. That was a fun show. I really enjoyed that. Which video game do you think would be perfect for a movie adaptation? Cars the video game. Oh wait, there already is one, and it's perfect. I feel like you could take the story from Arkham Asylum and make that into a really good Batman movie. I feel like that would be awesome. But as far as just a video game franchise in general, I mean, I know Halo has gotten the Paramount Plus treatment, and people hate that show because it's not accurate to the games. I feel like that could be a really good movie if, like, you actually got the creators involved and respected the source material. So I think my pick would be Halo. Toronto Towers says, have you ever played Murder Mystery 2 on Roblox? If so, would you consider doing a live stream or Let's Plays of the game? I don't play Roblox anymore. My friends and I have kind of abandoned Roblox. I think we did play that back when we used to play all the time. That sounds familiar, but no, we don't really play Roblox anymore. Sorry, man. Anthony DeSalvo says, which Thomas and Friends model series is your favorite? I'm guessing he means season, because in Britain they say series instead of season, which is weird. For years I've said season 5 because of its emphasis on action and such, but I'm feeling more partial to season 4 these days. I feel like I'm mellowing out as a person. I'm not as intense as I used to be. So now I'm like, yeah, I like the slower pace of season 4 and just the nice, warm, and cozy vibes it brings. As opposed to season 5 where, there's a bank heist, what? And the building exploded. Second to last group of questions here comes from Nick Schuler, who asks, what do you think of Sodor the Dark Times? Never seen it. I don't watch a lot of Thomas fan series that aren't my friends, so haven't seen Sodor Dark Times. I do know that the creator of that show, Victor Tanzing, he went skydiving. Shout out to Ronnie and Henry for letting me know that. Do you own any Railway series books? I own this Thomas collection. It's not the Reverend Audrey stuff. It's most of it, but not all of it. I'll throw a picture of it here on the screen for you, but that's the extent of the Railway series that I own. Oh, but I also own these little mini books too that I found at Half Price Books for cheap. So yeah, that's all the Railway series I own. Yippee. Do you like NASCAR? I tried to get into it when I was younger. I'm not Keycray24 though, so I'm not a NASCAR fan. Will you do a vlog about your honeymoon after your wedding? My first instinct to say is no, because I really just want to enjoy being on my honeymoon after I get married. Like, I'm not going to vlog my own wedding. After thinking about that for more than like 2 seconds, I'm like, yeah, that seems a little bit crazy to me. I want to just live in the moment, because when you're vlogging, you're focused on other things. You're focused on like, oh, is this shot good? Am I in focus? But when you're not vlogging, you're living in the moment. Like, I didn't take as much footage while I was in Disney World this last year because I wanted to just be there. I wanted to be in the moment, and I don't regret that. It was a lot more fun because I didn't vlog as much as I did the year before. Have you seen Sodor Fallout? Again, I don't watch fan series unless they're my friends, so no, I have not seen Sodor Fallout. And last but certainly not least is another friend of the channel, Topher. How do you feel about Topher, Cookie? Do you like him? The silence means that she likes you, Topher. What do you think? Do you like him? Well, I know you like my leg. You've been headbutting it all day. What's your favorite kind of weather, and what's your favorite season? Favorite season is summer. Favorite weather? Fall weather. If I could get fall weather in summer, perfect. Wonderful. What is the worst movie you have seen in your life? Oh my gosh. I've seen a lot of bad stuff. It's hard for me to answer this question because I block out a lot of the bad movies that I've seen, but the ones that come to mind immediately: Sabotage, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger from like 2014. Jane Got a Gun, starring Natalie Portman, and the most recent one, Expendables. That movie was hot garbage. One of the worst I've seen in probably the last decade. I mean, just awful. How far ahead do you plan your content? At least for my main series, like HMR, Thomas and Friends, HMR, that stuff is planned out like 9 to 12 months in advance. Like everything for the rest of this year was planned out probably in March. I'm already thinking about plans for 2025. Like, what can I cover for season 7 of HMR? What Thomas and Friends stuff am I going to do? Like, I've got a list of supplementals that I still need to make, and where can they fit into the calendar? Like, I plan stuff out pretty far in advance. When it comes to the main series on Mondays, Thursday videos, those aren't really planned. Those just kind of come about whenever they come about. How long does it take for you to edit your videos? I can usually edit a full HMR, and I classify that as anything that's close to or over a half hour long. I can edit those in roughly 2 to 3 hours, 3.5 at the longest. That includes close-up, menu tour, audio sections, photos, all that stuff. 2 to 3 hours. I think the longest one I've ever done is 4 hours. That was probably one of the longer ones, like the Indiana Jones quadrilogy or the Star Wars trilogy. Anything with multiple movies in it takes a little bit longer. Like the Toy Story one, I think that one's the longest HMR currently. That one probably took a little over 4 hours. Let's Plays, vlogs, those are easier to edit and such. There's usually not a lot of visual effects going on there. Those are pretty much just throw the clips into the timeline, cut out what's not needed, and then just rendering it quick as possible. For Let's Plays, though, whenever I use OBS, I record everything in the MKV format, and then I have to convert it later on in Handbrake to MP4, which is another codec for video. My software that I use to edit with, Camtasia Studio 8, MKV and Camtasia Studio 8 don't work well together. They don't like each other. Okay, they're not on speaking terms since the divorce. So I have to convert the MKV footage to MP4. That is usually the longest part whenever it comes to Let's Plays. Also, Camtasia Studio 8 is starting to slow down, probably because it hasn't gotten an update in like 6 years. It's starting to get really cumbersome sometimes to edit 1080p footage through Camtasia. So I'm feeling like in the next few years I'm going to upgrade my video editing software. I think I say that like every QnA video. Oh, I'm going to upgrade my video editing software. And I never do. Topher also asks if I will be doing any more HMR series like on VeggieTales or Baby Einstein or Bob the Builder. Baby Einstein, man, there's not really a lot there for people over the age of 2. The only reason I buy those is for my future kids. Like, I want them to be able to watch those and their brains develop quicker if they watch that stuff. At least that's what I think. As far as the other ones go, I'm not going to say no to either of those. There actually is kind of a equivalent to a VeggieTales home media review series. It's on a channel known as Christian Nutrition. It was this guy, and for like 3 years, he went through every episode of VeggieTales chronologically, and I kind of thought like, oh, this is the HMR series that everybody wants for VeggieTales. People can just go watch that. The channel's kind of dead now. The guy hasn't uploaded in a few years, but the entire series is live on the channel right now. Christian Nutrition is the channel. Have you ever been to an amusement or theme park? Yes, I've been to Disney World. That's an amusement park. I've also been to Kings Island, which is up in Ohio, and Holiday World, which is in Indiana, I'm pretty sure. And finally, ending things off, Topher asks, this last one is a joke, a package comes to your house. You open it, it's an All Engines Go DVD. What do you do with it? Maybe burn it? Well, first of all, I would figure out who sent me an All Engines Go DVD, because how did you get my address? But as far as what I would do with it, I wouldn't burn it. That would just be a little excessive. Come here, baby. Yeah, come here. Come here, baby. Yeah, hello. Well, folks, that wraps up the Q&A answers video for my 12-year anniversary on YouTube. I'm once again sorry that this took so long to get out to you guys. I hope that you enjoyed the answers to all of the questions. I hope that this little girl here made this video somewhat watchable. Do you have anything that you would like to say to other people? I hope that you guys liked all the answers to the questions. I hope that you stuck around for the entire thing. This raw video file is almost 90 minutes, so this video is going to be quite long. With all that being said, I want to thank you guys so very much for watching. I will see you all in the next video. You want to say it, Cookie, or should I say it? Okay, she's getting comfortable, so I guess I'll have to say it. Good night, everybody.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me how my words get lost somehow. She's cast her spell and now I let my guard down. Let me tell you about a girl I know. Type of girl you take it slow with. Make one wrong move and you'll be on your way out. She thinks I'm nothing, but I got good loving. We could be something, but she holds all the cards. My heart's coming under siege. My friend said let it be.